Hey everybody, welcome back to the Coach's Corner. I'm Bob Rombach. This is head coach Adam Hale. And how you feeling?
Good.
Yeah, regular season. What's that?
Been a good week.
Yeah, good. Let's talk about it a little bit. You just finished the regular season, 9-0 in games played, conference champs, of course, #1 seed, kind of checking a whole bunch of boxes, of goals met. And maybe a couple more goals left to go. So can you kind of just recap the season a little bit, talk a little bit about Ladysmith? Maybe we can get a little bit more into that game. But how's this season been? Is it met, exceeded, what expectations, or what do you think?
Met/exceeded.
Yeah.
I thought we were capable of having a really good year, but again, I wouldn't have come out and said, yeah, we're going to be 9-0, or that was really the goal. And the guys just kept coming together and winning games, and all of a sudden, you're at 5-0, then 7, then you win your last one, and kind of wrap it up. So it was a really good finish to the regular season, and again, the guys, they came ready to play, basically every week, and so credit to them for that.
Well, you guys have finished so strong. I mean, you wouldn't even say finished strong. I mean, you really hit your stride game 4 or 5, somewhere there. It's the Ishpeming game. After that, I believe you guys had running time in every game since then, including the Ladysmith game. So what do you attribute that to?
I think we got off to some good starts in those games. Again, I think we were more focused the second half of the season.
Yeah.
And so that's a big part of it, and coming out ready to play. And then I think we just improved in some little things, little areas on both sides of the ball. And so that kind of got things rolling, and then we got out in games and didn't take any steps backwards, so to speak, in those games where we got those running clocks and things went well. So
yeah. Let's talk a little bit about your defense, because if you look at those scores, it might be a little skewed because, the second team, third teamers got in there, maybe let up a touchdown or two. But you guys, your defense has really not given up too many points in the last 5-6 games. Actually, all year, it's been good. You held Ladysmith when the starters were in, I think, to 1 no touchdowns offensively, right? I think it was a special teams touchdown. How's that make you feel? I know special teams are kind of your baby. We don't have to dwell on it.
Irritating, whatever word you want to use. Okay. Yeah, especially because the defense did play well, and we were in position. We had guys there, and we just didn't make the play, so that's frustrating because we do work on it a lot, and so when that happens, it's frustrating. But they hand it to them too. Number 2 is a really good athlete.
Sure was.
He's a good player, and he made a nice return.
Yeah. So more on the defense. What can you say about the defense throughout the year?
I think we've bent, but not broken at occasions. And then other times we've really come out and had a really good series where we've gotten the punt 3 and out. Hurley game was one that thought we really played well and got their offense off the field. So D-lines played better. We played lower. I think we've tackled a little bit better, especially if you judge back to the early in the season.
Yeah.
We've gotten better at that. I don't want to say too much because it'll jinx us, but those areas are noticeably better, and that's been the key. Yeah,
I definitely remember talking to you early on, and we were like, well, you were talking about lots of things to work on, and even though you've won, like it's nice to have won, still lots to work on, and tackling was like a huge, probably #1 on your list, I think, as far as things to improve. So you think you've focused on that and
definitely worked on it.
Definitely worked on it.
Like I said, it's gotten better, but I'm not going to put my foot in my mouth here with playoffs here.
All right, let's finish up with the Ladysmith game. You guys won, I don't remember the final score. Was it 43-22 or something?
43-16.
16.
Yep.
Oh, talk through that one. It was a rainy, ishy, cold night, and the first half was really competitive. 7-0 after first quarter, and you guys punched one in at the end of the half. Talk us through that game a little bit.
Yeah, we were fortunate to get that one right before half. That was a big play. Brock made a nice throw to Ian. Ian made a great catch. It got us down the sideline. And like you said, we punched it in.
Ball to be put in a spot that close.
Matheny's going to roll left. He's got lots of time. Looking, he's going to lob it deep down the left side. Ian Berkman is there. He caught it. And he is down at about second and goal from the 6. Lots of guys eligible, split out. 3 to the right, 2 to the left. A lot of times they'll motion. They don't. Rolling right. Throwing right. There's a guy at the goal line. Caught. Touchdown. Trenton Johnson.
They're a good team.
Yeah.
Quarterback's really good. They got some good interior guys on the line, and they got good skill kids. I mean, that's why they've won, 7 games or whatever. It
Right.
was 7-2, and so to kind of keep them in check. Again, we didn't really stop them, but we bent a little bit, didn't break, and kept them out of the end zone in the first half. So that was critical because, again, they're kind of one of those teams that's explosive and they can score on a quick strike. And they did a good job passing in bad
that
conditions.
rain. Yeah, they did. So I'm sure they'd love to have another chance at you, but they'll have to beat Unity first, and then we would have to beat Cumberland this Friday. So tell us a little bit about Cumberland. What do you know, and what are they good at?
They're similar to Ladysmith. They got good athletes, and they can get to the perimeter. Their quarterbacks both. They've played 2 guys because one got hurt, but they get to the perimeter at the edge and scramble around and make plays with their legs, and then they throw the ball well. So they're athletic and try to spread you out a little bit. And if we don't contain them, they can make big plays.
Okay. How do you go about the playoffs now? You kind of see what's in front of you schedule-wise potentially. Do you just take it 1 week at a time still, or you you have other guys scouting 2 weeks ahead, or how do you function?
No, we've always just kind of, there's too much on the line to really look ahead.
Yeah.
So it's just like, hey, let's win this week, then we can just do things all over again next week. And you don't want to get ahead of yourself because, there's no bad teams in the playoffs.
Right.
So everybody's good, and you got to take it like that and get ready to play, because otherwise you'll be turning your stuff in.
Yeah. The Ladysmith game was your 95th win of your career. Congratulations.
Thank you.
So you're 5 wins away from 100. I know you could do that math. If you win the next 5 games, that's a state championship. So why don't we go ahead and just do that?
I'm not going to argue with
No, that's amazing. You have the most wins in history here in Grantsburg, long history. So and you've had that for a while. I think you broke that 2 years ago, potentially. What keeps you going back to the football field and grinding out the season and worrying and not sleeping on Friday nights and maybe other nights during the week? What keeps you going out to coach?
It's a great question.
Do you need some time?
Sometimes I ask myself the same thing, but we've had really good kids. And to win games like that, it shows you we've had really talented players.
Yeah.
That's what, it's not X's and O's, it's Jimmy's and Joe's is the expression. So we've had a lot of good players, and we've had good kids. It's fun to coach them because they have been good kids, and it's enjoyable to get out here in the practice field. That's, a big part of it is enjoying practice, and to me, I enjoy it. And so as long as I keep enjoying it, then they want me back, I'll keep coming back.
That's awesome. I think they want you back, Coach. So I think that's going to wrap it up. A great season so far, a regular season, another undefeated season. I think you have to go back to the 4 years in a row that you guys were undefeated, which wasn't too long ago. I think it was 2018 was the last time. So a lot of success, a lot of recent success. But this team, can you look at this team and compare it to some of those undefeated teams? What's similar and what stands out about this one that's a little bit different?
Well, those years, you had John and Leo.
Yeah.
And everybody knew you had John and Leo, and they were tough to stop. We had a lot of other good players, really good players.
We did.
But when you have guys of that caliber, they can just kind of carry on any given night.
Yeah.
Where this year we don't have that. We got one that's a really good player, Trenton Johnson.
Yeah.
Obviously, Gavin's having a great year,
Yeah.
and other guys, but we're a little more balanced this year. I think our O-line's further along than we were in those years because these guys all got a lot of playing time last year. As sophomores, those 3 inside.
Yeah.
And Brandon started last year. So for those guys to be experienced and come back, it makes a huge difference and really helps the offense go, and then having those guys back on defense as well. So that's a big part, and kind of a difference, I'd say, is just the 5 guys in the middle having that experience.
Yeah, okay. You mentioned John and Leo. I was doing some stats today. I look at stuff like rushing yards or touchdowns in a season or in a career, especially career. It's basically nobody's going to touch those two. It's like 86 touchdowns, 73 touchdowns, and then the next is like Derek Bertelsen had 44 or something like in that realm, like in a career. It's just like those guys were, and we knew it at the time how dominant they were, and obviously they both went on to great things, and Leo's still playing and that kind of stuff. But I don't know, it's just funny. It's just crazy to see some of the numbers that those guys put up. So it's a different deal. Obviously, yeah, Trenton is having a heck of a season. He's had a good career, but I think you mentioned before, just all across the board, there's just not many weaknesses up and down the lineup. What do you tell the guys now that it's playoff time?
Well, that's a big point, because as competition gets heavier, which in playoffs, that's what happens, other guys got to step up, because good players and plays are going to get taken away. Just because the other defenses are going to be, well scouted,
right,
and have good players and take your strengths away. So other guys have to step up and do stuff. And I know we got guys that can do that. So
right,
that's a nice kind of feeling to have, as other guys able to, run or catch or whatever it might be.
Right.
Do those things.
Congratulations again on a great year, 9-0 regular season, finish undefeated, and there's just 5 left to go. There's one at a time, but 5 potentially. But we're excited to see what you guys do this year, these playoffs.
Thanks.
So, all right, that's it. Playing this Friday at home. If they keep winning, they have 3 home games in a row. They've got to win the first one to get to that second one, of course. Cumberland here, 7 o'clock Friday night. It's going to be a lot nicer than last Friday. Might be a little drizzle, but you can handle that. So come out here and see this awesome team play, and come and root for them. Be loud on the sidelines. Give a real home field advantage. Of course, if you can't make it, We Are Grantsburg will have it, but we'd love to see you. You can always watch the replay later. So that's going to do it. We will see you Friday night.